Canada has officially recognized the state of Palestine. Prime Minister Mark Carney made the announcement, putting us alongside countries like Britain and Australia in what some are calling a diplomatic shift. But here's the problem. Just 4 months ago, the Carney government set clear conditions for recognition. None of those conditions have been met, not one. And yet Canada went ahead anyway. Welcome to the Northern Bridge, where we bring you global stories through an Afro-Canadian lens. I'm your host, and today we're breaking down what this decision really means for Canada's credibility, for your tax dollars, and for our already strained relationship with the United States. Back in July, Ottawa laid out the rules. Recognition of Palestine would only come if the Palestinian Authority reformed its governance, if Hamas was excluded from future elections, if hostages from the October 7th attack were released, and if Hamas disarmed. These weren't vague aspirations, they were stated as hard conditions. Fast forward to the weekend. None of this has happened. There are no scheduled elections. Hostages remain in captivity. Hamas is still armed and still in the picture. Yet Canada went ahead with recognition anyway. What does that say about our word on the international stage? If our government sets conditions and then ignores them, why would any country take Canadian commitments seriously? And here's where it hits home for Canadians. Since 2016, millions of taxpayer dollars have flowed into Palestinian territories under programs like the Canada Fund for local initiatives. Officially, this money funds humanitarian projects, women's empowerment programs, youth training, campaigns against early marriage. On paper, those look good. But watchdogs, including the UN, have documented that up to 90% of aid entering Gaza is intercepted by Hamas. That means Canadian taxpayer money, your money, could be propping up terrorist infrastructure instead of reaching the people it was meant to help. Meanwhile, 1 in 4 Canadians in some communities are relying on food banks, and 1 in 3 of those are children. How does that square with sending millions overseas with questionable oversight? Now, this isn't just about promises or aid. Canada's decision has serious geopolitical consequences. We are already locked in a trade war with the United States. Tariffs are hammering our exports. Jobs are vanishing, 107,000 in just the past 2 months. And now, Canada has recognized Palestine unilaterally, while the U.S. remains firmly pro-Israel. In Washington, this move will be seen as undercutting their position, especially while tensions in the Middle East remain high. That could add fuel to the fire in our already fragile trade relationship, giving American lawmakers another reason to squeeze Canadian businesses even harder. So ask yourself, was this the right moment for Canada to hand our largest trading partner a new point of conflict when our economy is already struggling? Supporters of recognition argue that this is about human rights, self-determination, and joining the international consensus. They believe diplomatic recognition could encourage peace and stability. But critics see it differently. They point out that Canada abandoned its own conditions, essentially rewarding terrorism and hostage-taking. They highlight the lack of oversight for taxpayer dollars, and they argue that in the middle of a trade war with the United States, this decision could directly harm Canadian workers and families. There's another issue: process. This wasn't debated in Parliament. The Prime Minister's office made the call and announced it as policy. Something this significant, with major implications for our foreign policy, our economy, and our most important international relationship, was decided behind closed doors. That raises serious questions about democratic accountability. So here's the bottom line. Carney's government promised conditions. It broke those promises. It continues to send millions of taxpayer dollars overseas with limited oversight, and it may have just jeopardized Canada's most important international relationship with the United States, right in the middle of a trade war and a jobs crisis. This isn't just about Middle East politics. It's about government credibility, taxpayer accountability, and whether Canadian families are being put first. So what do you think? Should Canada have recognized Palestine without meeting its own conditions? Should taxpayer dollars continue flowing overseas while Canadians at home line up at food banks? And how much damage could this do to our already fragile relationship with the United States? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because if Canadians don't speak up, these decisions will keep happening without accountability. And if you want more straight talk connecting the dots between foreign policy, our economy, and your daily life, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and share this video. The more people see it, the more pressure there is for real accountability. Thanks for watching. Until next time, this is the Northern Bridge, Global Stories Afro-Canadian Lens.